Hello everyone, I'm FARMERSIM and welcome back to the Vintage Oaks. I do hope you're doing very well and having an awesome day. So we are now here in the third day of September, which was a bit strange to me actually. As you can see there, top right, September the 3rd. I did mention in one of the last episodes that I was considering swapping over to a 3-day month just to give myself a bit more of a fighting chance time-wise, obviously with the size of the fields we've got, the size of the tools we've got. The jobs were taking quite a long time, so just to give myself a bit of a fighting chance, I figured I'd give myself an extra day in the month. So, obviously, the last episode took place in the 2nd day of September, so I was half expecting to change that, change the setting from a 2-day to a 3-day month. Fast forward time, go to sleep and wake up on the 1st day of October, and have a 3-day month. But sure enough, I changed the setting, went to sleep, woke up on the 3rd of September, so that didn't quite work out. I mean, it's fine, but it didn't quite work out how the game normally does it. Am I right? You change the monthly day setting and that doesn't take place till the next month. It even says that in the in-game menu. So anyway, it is what it is. But there has been a couple of funny things going on. That one, to mention the first, obviously the game day thing, it is what it is. But I've woken up. I went to sleep and woken up this morning, and the cows haven't got any manure in the pen. They're all right for straw. They're all right for food. They've still got stuff in there. That's after going to sleep. So I was expecting to see some kind of a pile of manure there, but they haven't started producing any. I don't know why. So that one's a funny one, because I've been coming in and out of the game a few times this last couple of hours just to get my head around a few things, and sometimes there would be a pile of manure there, sometimes there wouldn't. It was just, so it's a little bit confusing. It is what it is. As you can see, the health is at 100%, the sexual maturity 72%. It's all good. But there was also a little bit of a hiccup, not a hiccup, but just an unexplained thing with the milk. Now, I was always under the impression, because I do have the enhanced animal mod activated in the game, that the cows didn't start producing milk till 18 months. Is that correct? But last month, if I just show you in the finances menu there, as you can see, sold milk in September, we got £2,127 for it. That's because I do have, at the minute anyway, I've got the automatic milk sale mod on, just for now anyway, just to get a few quid into the bank, quickly, as it were. So yeah, so we got some money for milk in September, and now obviously gone into the 3rd day of September, and there's no milk at all. There was no money that came in. I don't know whether it happens at a different time of day. I'm not too sure. Maybe you guys can let me know in the comments if there's a simple thing I'm missing. But anyway, it's all right. It's all good. They're fine. That's all that matters. They're healthy. I'm sure a bit later on in the day, perhaps we might find a big pile of manure there. We'll check up on that. But anyway, it's 7:45 in the morning. We've got plenty of work ahead of us. Now, what I think I'm going to do. Now this has come as a result of some comments left in the obviously the comment section of the last video. It started off with a comment from a viewer called the Munter4488. Hello mate, hope you're well. His comment quite simply said, would have been nice to see some proper ploughing. Now initially that kind of threw me a bit. I was like, hang on, well, I've just spent the last 4 and a bit hours doing that. What do you think I've just been doing? But I think once a couple more comments came into that section, I think I got a better understanding of what he meant, and I can only assume he was referring to the types of ploughs that I was using. Obviously, these are chisel ploughs, shank ploughs, whatever you want to call them. Maybe more of an American plough. And then a comment came in from the Fall Guy 3987, who very kindly told me about he actually lives not too far from here, actually, in real life, and his family have a farming background, and he told me that back in this era it was quite common to see his dad and a few other people running 3 traditional furrow ploughs out in their fields that were much smaller than this, and doing it that way. Now, I did mention in that comment, I replied to him saying, I really appreciate the info, and it's great to hear from somebody who's an actual farmer, or was an actual farmer in real life, and has experience in a farming background. And generally, as a rule, up until the way I've always liked to play the game, I've always had a bit of a pet hate for those traditional furrow ploughs, just because they've always been a bit narrow. They're just a bit of a pain. I've always liked, even though I'm not doing it on this series at the minute, when it comes to creating fields, I've always found this square plough, and obviously it has a much shorter length. It doesn't hang out the back of the tractor quite as far. Having these square ploughs enables the creation of fields to be a lot more controlled and a lot neater, and that's just always the avenue I've liked to do it. So that's kind of why I just, when it came to setting up this farm and having the equipment, I stuck with this supposedly traditionally American style plough, the chisel and the short length on it, but the square shape. But after a bit more thought, since these comments have came in from the last episode, I've kind of decided, you know what, we are in the UK here, and I think it would be nice for me just to give me head a wobble, as it were, and do it properly. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of these two ploughs, I suppose, keeping in with tradition of the beginning of these episodes of this series so far, having a bit of a chopping and a change at the beginning of most episodes. That's what I'm going to do. But what I am going to do, I'm actually going to get 3 of them. Because the fields are massive, the next ploughing job we've got to do is field 62, which was the field we harvested in the last episode. Sorry, the field we picked up the straw from in the last episode is the biggest field on the map. Now I have downloaded one mod that is it's a traditional furrow plough. It's a case branded one again. It has a width of 3.6 meters, which is actually 0.1 of a meter wider than the base game Cavernaland ones, which are at 3.5. They're the widest traditional furrow ploughs. I know you can get the really big long ones which have a slightly wider width as well, but I'm not really too keen on them. I'd rather stick with the smaller ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get myself a loan, because one of the main things of this series, I suppose, because of where we are with FARMERSIM 22, FARMERSIM 25 is literally a couple of months around the corner. I just want to enjoy this map. It's a beautiful map. I know I've said it a million times before. Anyone who's got it, you guys viewing this video, I'm sure if you've got the map as well, you'll wholeheartedly agree with me. This place is a wonderful map, and especially for me now down here on my new custom farm built by my good pal Chimera. Hello mate, hope you're good if you're watching. Yeah, I just want to enjoy it, and I just want to, you know, just see out the next few months before FARMERSIM 25 with this series, just enjoying it. And just so, I mean, keeping in mind with that, one thing that I have actually done so that I can enjoy it, now this is just a personal thing for me, I've turned lime off, for example, because I just, honestly and truthfully, I just can't be bothered with it. We've done it, we all do it on our maps and on our series and on our farms and stuff, and I know when it comes to lime, fields can drink lime. They really can, and with the fields being so big as they are here, and the option is there in the in-game menu to turn lime off if you so wish. So I just thought, you know what, just for this one series, whether it's factually correct or not, or practically correct for me to do that or not, part of me just thinks, you know, like I said, I just want to enjoy it. So, and liming a field, especially ones of this size that haven't seen lime before, it's just, I just find it just a mammoth task, and it's just constant back and to, you know, you know, you can empty your lime spreader in almost seconds sometimes, so you spend 90% of your time travelling back and to. So, with that in mind, I hope you guys don't mind. You know, by all means, let me know in the comments if you think I'm being stupid or not. But just for the purposes of this one series, I just want, you know, I've turned lime off just so I can just enjoy the whole thing of, you know, just working the fields but not having anything too daft, if that makes any sense. But yeah, so like I said before, I'm going to get myself a loan, because I'm going to get myself a big tractor, and we're going to sell those 2 ploughs, and we're going to buy 3 replacement ones, furrow ploughs, at a width of 3.6 meters. So currently these 2 ploughs together have a working width of 10.4 because they're 5.2 meters each, but the furrow plough at 3.6 meters will actually bring the combined width of all 3 ploughs to 10.8, so technically 0.2 of a meter wider. So that's the plan. So that's what we're going to do. Now, the tractor I have in, well, do you know what, I'll buy it first. I'll surprise you with it. I've seen a few of you people have posted a few images in my Discord of some of the tractors and machinery that you've got down here on the Vintage Oaks, and one of them in particular is a really nice one. It's an old Massey Ferguson. It's a nice big beefy thing. It's got some good power, and for me it just looks right. So, and I figured, like I say, I'm not too bothered about getting in debt. Obviously we'll be paying the debt back, don't get me wrong, as best as we can, but I just want to enjoy it. So this is, at the minute, this is the most powerful tractor we have, followed that, I think that's north of 300 horsepower, whereas this one is 200 exactly on the head. The ploughs that I'm going to be buying require 200 horsepower. So just as a bit of a safety measure, I have also installed activated, sorry, the more power mod, which just gives your tractors, I don't think you have to do anything with it, it just gives your tractors a little bit more power. So when it comes to doing the ploughing jobs, the other two will be all fine, the Fent and this one, but sorry, the Fent and the new tractor that I'm going to buy will have enough power. Let me just turn that off actually. But the JCB might have struggled a little bit. So with that in mind, I'm going to head off down to the shop. We're going to sell both of these ploughs there, get as much as we can back into the bank for it, and then I'm going to get a loan of 300,000 quid, because the tractor in question costs just over 200 and just under 230,000. The ploughs that I want to buy are 14 grand each, so we'll be spending 42 grand on 3 ploughs. And then what we're going to do initially is we're going to get, let me just jump out very quickly, we are going to get this field ploughed under. It's massive, 122.7 acres, there we go. So that is going to take a considerable amount of time, no doubt. But it's also going to look pretty cool with having 3 tractors running it. So, right, anyway, that's enough for me for a few minutes. I'm going to drive myself down to the shop, and I'll see you down there in a few moments' time. Right, okay, so got the 2 ploughs down here to the shop. If those of you who haven't been down here yet, this is the vehicle sell point dealership area on the Vintage Oaks. So let's give both of these a quick repair just to make sure we get as much as we can for them. There we go. So that's worth 7,689. So let's sell that one. Yep. 7,841. Let's get rid of that one. So I suppose just over 15 grand that was roughly. So that'll pay for one of the ploughs. So now let's go into our enhanced loan system mod. There we go. We're going to take a loan of £300,000. We're going to take it over, let's just go for 6 years, 4,692 a month. Yeah, that's quite reasonable, isn't it, I think. Right, so take loan, done. Excellent. Bank balance, there we go, just under 400k. That'll do. It's only going to be momentary, isn't it? Well, that'll be mostly gone in a few moments. So I'm going to spend a few minutes now. I'm going to purchase these 3 ploughs. I'm going to spec out my new tractor, and I shall see you in a second or two. There we go. This is what the brunt of our money has been spent on. The debt that we're now in. As you can see, we've got these lovely big, pretty decent size to be fair, furrow ploughs. Case International branded 165s. 3.6 metres wide, like I say, so that's that. But we have also this beauty here, the Massey Ferguson 4900, 375 horsepower, nice big whopper with twin wheels, centre articulation. I've specced it out with I quite like the idea. It had 3 different exhaust options. I quite like the idea of that big silver pipe at the front there, so I've gone for that one. But yeah, what a beast. It looks awesome, it sounds awesome as well. Jump inside. It's really quite cool. This is a heck of a mod, I must admit. Like I say, I've seen a few of you have posted in my Discord the last few weeks with showing you setups on here on the Vintage Oaks, and a lot of you seem to have gone for this one, and quite rightly so, if you ask me. So, anyway, right, we're now in debt massively, and as you'll see as well, I've just while I'm down here, while I've got the workshop there, I've specced the JCB there with the twin wheels. Now I know some of you might remember I had a bit of a faff going on in the last episode with this one running the course play. It just seemed to stop every time there was a corner, so I had to equip it with the single wheels. Now I'm hoping, because this is a slightly different plough, I think there was a collision perhaps with the back bar of that American style case plough. So I'm fingers crossed this one will work. If it doesn't, I'll have to just spec it right back to the singles again, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. So let's get all this lot back to the farm, because we have plenty of work to crack on with. I want to get that big field ploughed up, so and that's going to take quite a while. How cool does this sound? It really does. Right. So I hope those of you watching, I hope you're proud of me, I suppose, for biting the bullet and doing things properly with these traditional furrow ploughs. I suppose it's about time I started doing things like that. I've always avoided them just because, like I said before, I've just had a pet peeve with them, but yeah, it's about time I sorted my life out, isn't it? Hello. Shout, dear. Right, so, like I say, I'll get this lot back to the farm. I'll see you in a few minutes. Right, I figured we'd just get straight into the field and get cracking on with the work, because as I said before, this is a whopper and it's going to take a considerable amount of time. But check out my new ploughing army, eh? Looks pretty good. Ploughing properly now, everyone. So, let's knuckle down, eh? See you in a short while. And we're almost done, just on the last little strip here. And this thing is an absolute beast, I've got to say. Absolutely love it. Very happy that I'm hugely in debt now to purchase it. It's all good, isn't it? So, it seems 4 hours seems to be my lucky number with this series, because this job has taken literally 4 hours. If I bring up the heads-up displays, you can see the work hours on this tractor, 4.3 hours. So yeah, every single job seems to be hovering around that kind of time scale, 3.5, 3.75, whatever, 4.5. But anyway, the job's done. That's all that matters in a few moments anyway. But I have got to clean up a few bits and bobs. If I bring up the map PDA very quickly, where are we? There we go. So this is the state of the field. The dark purple is the ploughed areas. The light purple is the areas that, unfortunately, these ploughs have missed and course players missed. Now, I didn't have that experience with, for example, just running in here in field 22, and also when I ran a singular one a couple of episodes ago in field 17, it didn't miss a single piece. But obviously, that's the difference, or one of the differences between these types of ploughs and the square ones. But anyway, it's all good. So, time-wise, we are currently exactly 1 o'clock, so I think I've probably got half an hour or so, 3/4 of an hour for me to clear up and properly get this field sorted. So I'm going to crack on with that. I'm going to get the Fendt and the JCB back over to the farm. Obviously, by the time I am completely finished in this field, we're going to be knocking on the door for mid to late afternoon, aren't we? So I'm not too sure exactly what I'm going to be able to take on job-wise after that, because obviously everything is going to take several hours. Now, what I have actually done as well during that whole cinematic, I have decided, even though I've only just changed it to 3, I'm actually going to run 4-day months again, just to give me a fighting chance, because it's times like this, because we're in the winter months, or we're getting towards the winter months. The days get shorter, the daylight gets less. Obviously, the available time for me to work in the fields and make footage and content for you all, because obviously there's nothing, I can't imagine it's particularly entertaining watching somebody rattle around in the dark when you can't see anything. So yeah, 4 days, we're going to go with that for now and see how we fare with that. But as I say, I've got quite a bit of time ahead of me, just clearing up all these missed bits. But what I think I might do, again, just for my own OCD purposes maybe, when I've done all this and I've got everything back to the farm, I'm going to have a bit of a sort out. I think I'm going to, because I'm not too happy at the minute in where things are sitting and where I've got things stored and stowed away, the machinery and the implements. And obviously thinking about it as well, we did have the slight issue in that the previous case ploughs, the square ones, they didn't actually fit in many of the sheds because they were too wide, and I think this thing's going to have the same problem. We have got the big shed, of course, where the trailers are, but again, for my own satisfactory purposes, I suppose, I'm going to have a bit of a sort out and just rearrange things and give things a bit more of a permanent home, I think. So, anyway, there's a bit there. Don't want to miss that. It's peppered with bits that have been missed, isn't it, this field? So, yeah, it's going to take a while, and I do have to, if I just go around again, I think I am going to have to take a bit of a lap around the very outer edge as well, just to clear up the very edge bits that it's missed in places. So, yeah, right. I'll get all this sorted, get back to the farm. Everything's going to need a wash as well, isn't it, really? So, yeah. I'll see you in a while's time. Right, there we go. So, almost 45 minutes later, we are... Well, I've picked up all the bits, got all the bits covered, so if I show you in the map PDA now, there we go. The field is now completely ploughed. Spending all that time doing the job, 4 hours or whatever it was. You don't want to be leaving little bits like that scattered around the field, do you? It's just not right. It's all level of wrong. So, yeah, it's all good now. That bit's done. It does take a while, but it's important. But now we're going to get back to the farm, and like I said before, I'm going to have a little bit of a sort out, because this is one of the aspects of the game that I just find wonderful. Obviously, you've got your farm set up, you build it, or in this case, I've had it done for me. But all your tools and your machines and your implements have got to have a place to live, haven't they? And obviously, when Chimera did the farm for me, I got all my bits and bobs together and I put them somewhere, but for some reason they're just not sitting right with me. So I'd like to change that. And for example, take this bit here. We're just turning into the farm now. We've got no, where I'm at, that's the wrong turning. Still getting used to it. I thought that turning on the left was the turning into my house, but it was that one. No, just round here. We've got this new area of the farm that Chimera made for me, and this is actually one of my favourite little bits of the farm. Is this bit here. Now, at the minute, I've got the combine headers in there, as you can see, and we've got the combines in here as well. Let me jump out of cab and you can see what I mean. But yeah, this is actually one of my favourite bits of the farm, but because I've got the combines in here and because I've got the headers in here, it's not going to be very often that I'm going to be coming down here, because obviously, you know, we're not going to be touching the combines until harvest time pretty much. So, and just for my own OCD purposes, I suppose, just for my own enjoyment of enjoying the game, enjoying the farm, enjoying the series, you know, it's just be nice to come down here a bit more often. So I've got to basically play an enormous game of musical machinery. I want to shift, I want to put them all in different places, put everything in different sheds, get everything where I'd like them to be. I'm sure you're all familiar with that. You've got to be, you know, it's just, like I said before, it's one of the most enjoyable parts of the game, just being able to exercise your OCD and set your farm up and have things exactly where you want them to be. So, and everything, there's quite a few things now that need a bit of a wash. I've got all 3 ploughs here sat at the wash point here. So let's just drop that down there. I hope things can reach. Hose, I mean. I've got everything kind of clustered together. But yeah, so like I say, I'm going to. This isn't normally part of the game that you see a lot of people making on a video, is it? Like the whole sorting out the farm. You'll just tend to pick up a video and join a video as things have been moved around and they are where they are. But I think for this one, just for a bit of variety and just to see how it turns out, I'm going to take you with me on the journey. So, as I pick up a machine, a tractor, an implement, if it needs a wash, it'll get a wash, and I'm going to find everything a nice new home. So, I'll take you with me on the journey, and I shall see you in a short while's time.
population is under sleep. Oxygen levels are normal. We are arriving at the destination. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Right then, there we go. Took a bit of time, bit of faffing around, but there's nothing like a nice bit of OCD and giving everything a nice home. This row needs neatening up a bit. That's a bit slapdash, isn't it? But anyway, that's kind of what I wanted to do. Now, obviously I know there are some sheds like this one that do have a bit of space in them, but this is kind of like the workshop shed as well, so if I needed to, well, for example, stick the tyres, the big wide tyres back on the JCB, I can load that up in here, and it just gives me a bit of room to be able to work on stuff. Click on that, there we go, mobile workshop and all that. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. What time is it? What are we on? 2:30 in the afternoon, so yeah, it's not too bad. So maybe we do have a bit of time ahead of us. We might be able to squeeze a job in a bit later on in the next episode anyway. Maybe get a bit of field cultivation going on, because we've got a couple of ploughed fields that need working over. But we can also get some seed into the ground as well. We do need to consider that. But for now, I think for this episode, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it here. I'm very happy with that, to be honest, now that I've got everything where it needs to be. The combines are all over there, so obviously we'll probably spend less time over in that area of the farm, so it makes sense that the combines and the headers go over there. But yeah, so far, happy with where I've placed everything. I'm sure, like I said before, I'm sure you can all relate to it. You know, everything has to have its place. I know it might not make sense that I've got the bucket and the bale fork and the weight for the little Ford tractor over here, but again, I just fancied the idea of just neatening it up around the cow barn, just like I said, giving everything a place. Everything has to have somewhere to live. And now we've got potentially we could be able to, you know, frequent this little area a bit more often now that we keep the trailers down here and we've got the plows and the cultivators and the rower down here as well. Yeah, all good. Oh dear, missed a bit of dirt on that plow, haven't I? And the cultivators. Oops. Right, but yes, for this episode, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to call it here. So thank you very much for watching. I really do hope you've enjoyed the episode and found it a little bit of fun. As always, if you're new to my channel and you like my content, you like the way I'm doing things, please consider hitting that subscribe button and jumping on board, joining the channel. Please give the video a like if you can. And as always, there are a host of links in the video description below with my Giants Partner promo code. If any of you are in the market for purchasing a DLC, an add-on, a season pass, or even the full game itself, or even pre-ordering Farming Simulator 25, and you like the idea of helping a content creator out and supporting their channel at the same time, I would be hugely appreciative. So thanks again for your time, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode.